We're going to talk we live in today. Look at all the dissension. Look at all the opportunities that are given to us to disagree. Color, height, ethnicity, fashion, money, styles of vehicles, styles of homes. I mean, it's absurd. Who's eating what? Who's doing what? Who's sleeping with who? Most of this stuff is none of our business. What's most important is that we have the real conversations, is that we have the real dialogue to say, hey, maybe we should focus on the things we have in common more than the things we have apart. We're always going to have things apart. We're always going to have differences, especially as society progresses, technology moves on. Yes, there's a greater level of communication now than there's ever been, but there's also with that communication comes noise that is well beyond what the human mind is conditioned and trained and designed to be attentive to. None of us are designed to have 10,000 people with 10,000 different opinions about our lives when only one, yourself, knows exactly what's going on in your life. You and God are the only one that has that full information, right? So what happens when dissension, when arguments become manipulation, right? There are those who make a point to go beyond just the arguments. There are those who go beyond just the conflicts into manipulation. And that is where you land into one of those manipulative tactics is seduction. I saw a video that was sent over to me. Thank you, Trailblazer, for putting me on to that, where this young lady was speaking about women embodying basically the Delilah spirit. I'm going to call it that for this purposes, because anyone who can reference the Bible can reference there's a million Bibles over the world, the most popular book in the world. So if you don't know who Delilah is, let me tell you. There was a woman named Delilah. There was a man named Samson. Samson was the strongest man in the Bible. The man was so strong, he was able to take a jawbone of a lion and destroy an army. The guy was so massive, so strong that he was naturally the leader of his people. He was seduced. Now, no one is blaming the seductress for doing what she was paid to do, what she was hired to do, what she was purposed to do. What she was purposed to do was to find out his weakness so that the enemies could destroy him. Find his weakness. She was beautiful. She was from another tribe, even though his entire tribe itself, including his mother and family and everything else, said, go with the women in our tribe. He's like, nah, she's beautiful. I want her. He's a man who's used to getting his way. So he did that. Time and time again, after he became enthralled with her, she would ask him, what's your weakness? What's your strength anyhow? Where's it come from? First few times he lied. He would say, toenails, give it a stupid example. He would say, oh, it's when I do this thing or when I do that thing. He was misleading her, just having a good time. Eventually, through her ways, the ways that every woman has over a man, she was able to seduce him enough that he gave her the truth. The truth is that his strength was in his hair. And once you cut his hair, you cut his strength. Samson one night decided he was going to do that. Now, think about how crazy this is. Here's a man, most powerful man in the world. In the Bible, apparently the strongest and most powerful man to ever exist. And this man decided that he was going to give the secret that was given to him by God Almighty. Keep this in mind. The God, told him, here's your power, don't tell anyone. He was so seduced, so enthralled by this woman that she was able to extract that secret. Men, the problem that we're running into is that we are not fulfilling our purpose. We are not walking in our purpose. And because we're not walking in our purpose, we're easily distracted. The greatest distraction that a man suffers is women. The greatest distraction that a man is most liable to suffer from is a seductive woman. His money, his fame, his fortune, his respect, his life. I think a lot of men assume that the destruction of them comes in one massive go, like one big event. It's never one big event. It's always insidious, small seductions, small, tiny little movements toward the direction that someone wants you to go. And keep in mind, seduction itself actually means, I'm going to read this here. I thought this is very interesting. It comes from the Latin word seducere. Se meaning apart or away. Ducere meaning to lead. So it doesn't always have a sexual connotation. What it means is that someone is taking you in a different direction from where your purpose is supposed to be going. That is seduction. Some might call it a simple distraction, but seduction, often nowadays in particular, seduction is always, typically nowadays, has a sexual component to it, right? It's more about what can I get from her sexually, and she's thinking on sexual, and she's thinking more beyond the sexual part, knowing the weakness of a man, and saying, no, well, it's not about what I can get. Well, what can I get from him, right? Can I take power from him? And that's not to say, men, that your power is always up for sale, but the reality of it is many of us are weak. Many of us are weak. We're weak to the beauty of women. We're weak to the words of women. We're weak to the jewelry. See, in my mind, the way I think of women is, as a man, I don't need to be that fancy. My woman is my accessory, the same way she has accessories. Her jewelry, her negligee, or her outfits. Women tend to be all the extra. Let her be all the extra. That's fine. She is my jewelry. So as a man, I'm seeing her as an extension of me. I see her as a beautiful jewelry, a beautiful trophy, mind you, of something I want to take care of, something I want to make sure that she stays in a space that is representative of me, all right, a proper representation of me. The problem is when that woman takes on that, embodies the mentality that because I am doing this thing for her, there is an ownership. And the greater problem is when I give her that ownership. That ownership should stay sovereign with me. No different than her taking off an outfit, taking off shoes, taking off whatever it is, and she's tossing it to the side. I'm not saying you're tossing her to the side like that, but it is to say that she values the jewels that she has. She values the clothes that she has. She values the shoes that she has. She values the life that she has, right? Of course, as she should. But it is to say that she will take care of those things, but also know that those things can be replaced, and they will never own her. Too many men are letting the seductress own them. And so the question really is, well, how do we move beyond that? How do we move beyond someone just taking our sovereignty away? How do we go further than that? How do we make sure that the Delilah spirit is not impacting not just the man, but you yourself as a woman? See, the enemy had learned, pretty obvious, and again, it's in every Bible, that the best way to get to a man, the best way to seduce a man, the best way to pull a man off of God's purpose, God's alignment, let's call it alignment, let's call it universal alignment if you like, is to use a woman. Because it's not good for a man to be alone, and no man wants to be alone. No woman wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be alone. But when you want to destroy a man, or you want to destroy a nation, you want to destroy a country, all you do, you start with the woman. The woman has a direct impact on the child. The woman has a direct impact on the man. She's whispering to him at night. She's talking to the children during the day. You understand the seduction, the destruction even of that man, of that city, of that nation, of that society starts with whispers. So it's critical that you understand when that Delilah spirit is in your ear. It's critical that you understand as a woman when the Delilah spirit has embodied you. How do you know? You may start off with the feeling of, I love this man, I appreciate this man, I adore this man. And then the feeling comes in of bitterness, of pettiness, argumentative, of power control, dynamic, trying to redirect the power that he may have, that he seems to sustain, You want to redirect that in your direction. Why? You'd have to ask yourself why. Because if you're in a relationship with a good man, you know he's doing the right things for you. I'm not saying everybody's perfect. I'm not saying he's perfect. Nobody is. You're not perfect, man. Let's be honest. I've never met a perfect person in my entire life, not even close. But that is to say, he's doing his part. That man should be honored. That man should be uplifted. That man should be cared for. He should feel the actual love without the bitterness, without the pettiness, without the arguments, right? Without the nitpicking. That's not a man. That's not a man. No man is going to deal with that. That's a boy. And if you're having to go back and forth with the arguments of a man and disagreements, the pettiness, if he's as petty as you, if you're having those same type of arguments, if you're having the same type of level of energy and a disconnect between one another, you're dealing with a very difficult man, a man who has been exhausted his manhood and himself fallen into a space of disillusion, disconnect with the man that he is, disconnect with the creator himself, because he's fallen into a space of most likely confusion. Confusion is easily coming from a woman when there's too much noise, there's too much manipulation, there's too much seduction. It's critical that as a woman, you understand the spirit that may be embodying you. Here's the crazy thing, and I want you to really get this. When someone has lost their mind, they don't know they've lost their mind. The same way as when someone has been manipulated or someone has been let me not say manipulated. If a woman genuinely cares for a man, and for whatever reason, I've been in a situation, genuinely cares for a man, and for whatever reason, that genuine care turns into dissension, something is going on in her spirit. Because why would you want to be in a relationship where you feel as though this person is trying to take advantage of you? You feel as though this person is trying to manipulate you and seduce you to move, again, this definition of seduction, to lead away. Why would you want to be in that situation? Why would you want to be in that relationship? Unless there's a value that's being lost in you, or unless there's something in her, about her, you want to guess what that is pulling you in a direction that is opposite of where you need to go. So, as a man, it's critical for you to understand when that seduction spirit is surrounding you, when that seduction spirit is on you, and it's on you to move in a different way, to navigate out that space, to be smart in the way in which you navigate through life, because these seducers, it's a spirit. It's a spirit of dissatisfaction, a spirit of envy, a spirit of jealousy, a spirit of fill in the blanks. You know what I mean? So it's critical that as an individual who wants to be a good woman, who wants to be a good woman with a good man, it's critical that you focus on your own sovereignty, on your own strengths, your own individuality, your own presence. Be here, be now. Not in the future where things may happen, may go bad. Not in the past where things may have slipped and gone bad. But present here now. Knowing the value of what you have. Knowing the love in what you have. Knowing the grace that you have in that good man. If it's not a good man, if you feel like that relationship is not for you, you feel like that relationship has gone toxic, why don't you just leave? Leave. There's absolutely no reason for you to stay there. There's absolutely no reason for you to become petty. There's absolutely no reason for you to create a war against that man. The same way that man has no reason to create a war against you. What are we doing? Why would we go that way? Why? Put your energy in places that will benefit you, that will sustain a long life, long relationships, fulfilling relationships, loving, caring. I find there's nothing better than being in a relationship where two people are trying to outlove one another. I've been in a couple of relationships like that as well. She's doing as best she can for me. I'm doing as best she can for her. And it always feels as though every day is a blessing. Every conversation is a blessing. Every interaction is beautiful. Here in modern day America, what has happened is that we become a transactional relationships. It's become a transactional society, and most importantly, it's become transactional relationships. Let me say hi to a few people because I'm getting all these hellos. I don't want to be rude here. Hey, Sed, how's it going, man? Good to see you, brother. How's it going, Sarah? Hey, how are you? Good to see you as well. Mindful Glow, I love the name. Hey, you. Hey, Valerie. Nice to see you as well. Jesse, hello. Shannon, amazing to see you as well, girl. I love it. You feel as though there were times in your life where you seduced a man, inadvertently so. I completely understand that. It's not that you tried to. I've seduced women in my past, led them astray. Guilty. Not that I tried to, but I played that role inadvertently. And the reality of it is that it's because I didn't have a focused direction. Oftentimes you find that people are misleading you because they don't know which way they're going. Not always trying to be manipulative, not always trying to be a villain in your story, but they're kind of all over the place, and you fall into that seduction of randomness, or women love to say spontaneity. That spontaneity can have you lose your life, lose your wealth, lose your family, lose your loved ones, lose your job, lose your business. Spontaneity is great every now and then, but not when it's the person themselves. The person themselves and having a spirit of seduction on top of the spontaneity. Spontaneity oftentimes ends up looking like a aspect of seduction. Here's something new. Here's something exciting. When the reality of it is, boring is most beautiful. Truly it is. Because you know that what consistency is. When you're in a partnership, when you're in a relationship with someone, and you know that there is ego involved, that's a relationship that needs a conversation or an exit. But it's on you. It's on you to make that choice. It's on you to make that decision to engage or to disengage. It's on you to determine that where your character lies. What is your integrity as a woman? What is your integrity as a man? What does that mean? When you decide that I don't lead anyone off their mission, I don't distract people from where they're going. I have left relationships, and this is God's honest truth. I've left relationships because I felt that woman was better than me. How many men could say they've done that? How many women? Just to say this woman is doing so many great things, I know I will only be a distraction with her. I know that. Not that she'll distract me, not that she'll turn me off my course. I would end up seducing her. And everything she has going on great, and this is years ago past when I know that I was all over the place. Everything she has going on, I could inadvertently destroy. And what I won't allow to happen is the devil to use me in that way. See how that works? I know some will say, oh, that's just a lack of confidence. No, that's a reality check. That's me knowing where I belong and where I don't. And also being considerate of the next person in their grind, their hustle. Not trying to be an agent of chaos, an agent of the devil. I know it seems like an extreme to say that, but it's not. Either you're focused on order or you're focused on chaos. Chaos, the distraction of seduction, is chaos. It's pulling someone off their order, pulling someone off their purpose. Does that make sense? So when it comes to modern day America and these transactional relationships that we're having to deal with now, how can you expect to have a real loving relationship when everything is transactional? And then from that transaction leads to a sense of entitlement, right? You owe me this, I owe you that. You should be doing this thing for me. You should be doing these more things for me, and I should be doing less for you. The transaction looks more and more like manipulation. How can you sustain a relationship if it's all about manipulation? That's what seduction is. How far can I get this person off their path? There's nothing righteous about that. There's nothing integritous about that. You yourself can decide to focus on your path as they focus on theirs. And if you're truly trying to be with a partner, someone who loves you, someone who cares for you, someone who wants to be with you, right? Someone who you want to align with, it's not just about love. It's about companionship. It's about teamwork. And that teamwork looks like which way is straight. You find which way is straight. You find which way is righteous for both of you. If it aligns for both of you, then it makes sense. It makes sense. You don't have to get into the space of seduction. You don't have to get into the space of manipulation. All you have to do is get into the space of alignment. We're going this way. The question is, though, do you want alignment? In today's society, in the world that we live in today, in the country that we live in today, do people genuinely want alignment? Or do you just want to be spoiled? And that's okay. It's okay if you just want to be spoiled. Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. Just understand it's a short-term transaction. You can't think that good men are going to stay in that space, because at the end of the day, if you're just a transaction, if he's feeling like you're just a transaction and a seducer in ways, because you're moving him, especially if you're a seducer, because you're moving him off of his purpose. He wants to go straight, but every time he's dealing with you, there's a deviation. Well, you can expect that relationship is not going to last long. And as you continue to Tarzan and Jane, from vine to vine, man to man, pun intended, you know what I mean, vine to vine, eventually you're 40, you're 50, you're too old, you're out the game, because you've exhausted so much manipulation energy, so much seduction energy, so much of that energy that could be utilized to build a relationship, to build even yourself being ready for that relationship. Well, now you've lost all that time. And the worst part is, you get to be that woman who says, hey, I'm in my soft girl era now here at 40. Okay. Except you've been combative, you've been argumentative, you've been a seducer, you've been a manipulator for the past 30 plus years. Now you think you're going to be someone different. Now you think a man should invest in that? Sweetie, the mind that got you in the situation, got you in the circumstance, is not the mind that's going to get you out of it. So you trying to do the math on being a different woman than you had been the past 30 years or past 20 years is absolutely impossible. That's where therapy comes in. That's where counseling comes in. That's where having real conversations and making real adjustments, doing the real work comes in. By all means, BuddhaVH1.com if you want that kind of work. But for right now, the strict focus for you is be someone of value, aligned to a man that sees the world the same way as you, and you don't have to worry about being possessed by the spirit of seduction. You don't have to worry about being possessed by the spirit of manipulation. There's nothing better in the world than building something together with someone you love and value. There is nothing better in the world than that. In fact, that's why we're here. Yes, I am Christian, Michael. Thank you for asking. My name is Ezra, 15 book in every Bible. Kind of hard for me to be anything else. But even if there was, the reality is that I've seen Christ in ways that it's impossible to deny. So yes, I speak from the perspective of Christ. I speak from the perspective of a Christ consciousness, knowing that the world ain't perfect. Relationships aren't perfect. Jobs aren't perfect. Companies aren't perfect. But each and every day we can take a step in that direction to try to be a better man, try to be a better woman, try to be better people. I don't think there's enough of us having these conversations, so I'm having these conversations. Okay, so I'll answer some questions here about seduction. Oh, thank you. Who is this? Taminator? She said she went on a date with me back in the day and I was a complete gentleman. I doubt that's true, that you went on a date with me, but I am always a gentleman. Even when I disagree. I went out on a date with someone not too long ago. And God, she was the worst seducer of all time, number one. Because she was argumentative and combative. That lasted about 15 minutes before I was like, ma'am, take care of yourself, goodbye. Especially at this age. I don't date much. So to answer some questions here, no, I don't date much. I prefer to build these days. And I think now we are now in a season of it's difficult for relationships these days. And I'm okay with that because I've had enough of those. But when the time does present itself, I'm happy to engage in those things. So has there been times in your life where you felt like you were the seductress, where you felt like you were being someone that potentially may have been used by the enemy itself? I mean, don't get me wrong. Delilah did what she did, but be clear that she was given orders. How do you know there are not orders in your mind, in your spirit, to hurt the next person, to distract the next person, to derail the next person, to seduce the next person? How do you know? Unless you're doing an honest evaluation of yourself, an honest audit. Say, who am I? What do I stand for? Which direction is it that I want to go with my partner? And do I truly want to build something? Because the reality of it is that as time goes on, you'll wish you did build something with someone. You'll wish you did more than just seduce, derail, and distract other people. That's not a foundation of anything that anyone wants. It's not a foundation to build anything on. Over time, that ability to seduce, that ability to distract, that ability to manipulate will fail. You're going to get older. Those breasts are going to drop. The butt is not going to be as nice. Those curves are not going to hit the same way. And now you're a different woman having to experience the world in a completely different way. You're trying to find men that are no longer interested. You're trying to deal with, and now you're bitter. Why? Why go that route when you can simply decide to be a better person now, a better woman now? Work each and every day to be that woman who adds value, who builds purpose, who uses her powers for good, not for bad. Do you understand? My mother married a garbage man. True story. My mother married a garbage man. He drove a garbage truck. Now, my mother was decent at the time. She's well off now, but she was decent at the time. This man, he will tell you himself, wasn't the greatest looker. He would tell you himself, didn't have the best job, but he was a man of God. He was a good man. My mother's always been a looker and has always been very intelligent. She took that man under her wing. She seduced him as well. But the seduction was bringing him onto a greater path. He ended up getting his college degree, following her lead. He ended up getting several promotions, following her lead. He ended up retiring something like 10, 15 years early, following her lead. She seduced him in a way that led him to his purpose, not off his purpose. You understand? Now, don't get me wrong. He had to take a lot. He had to deal with a lot because he was dealing with a type of woman who was an alpha, who moved the way she moved and spoke the way she spoke and dealt with the way she dealt with, and dealt with the way she dealt with people. But the reality of it is that it brought him to an alignment that he would not have discovered if it wasn't for her. And she has the pride today to say, I built this man from next to nothing. And he has the glory. He has the pride to say, yeah, she did. Without her, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be retired the way we are. We wouldn't be living in the lap of luxury that we're living in. We wouldn't have these 5 dogs. Everything that they have is because there was a woman who decided to be the strength and not the weakness, to seduce him in a way that's taking him toward purpose, not away from it. A greater alignment, a greater height than he had ever been. That's the power that you have as a woman. When you decide you don't want to be the seducer, you decide you don't want to be the negative seducer, you want to be the positive seducer, the one who brings him over to a good purpose. That man will stay forever grateful. Forever grateful. How do you know? Look around. Men, for the most part, are not the ones divorcing. 80% of women are the ones who file divorce. Men will stay there and rock it out. Why? Because this woman has my back and I got hers. I'm so grateful to her for how she built me up. I'm so grateful to who she is and how she is and the joy that she's brought in my life. I'm not going anywhere. Even though most men won't get it right, perfect, no man does. Know that when those breasts drop, those curves don't hit the way they used to hit, that man will still be there. That man will still be there. I'll take questions. Hey, what's up? Hey, Amo. Hey, Amy. Amoy. I'm sorry. Amoy. Hey, Brad. Shanks, good to see you, man. Mindful glow. Yeah, I would think so. Thank you. Hi, Mikkel. Good to see you as well. Well, now you know, my friend. There we go. Taminator, Tammy, says she used that power, her power of seductions, and got a husband out of it. I'm not mad at all. That's exactly how it should work. It's the exact same thing my mother did. We're discussing seduction, the power of seduction, the power of seduction, positive seduction. Now, the definition of seduction again. Let's talk about the root word of this thing to be clear, so we're all in the same space, right? S-E, apart or away. Doucier. This comes from the Greek word seducier. Doucier is to lead away. Doesn't necessarily mean a negative thing. It means to lead away from whatever path you're on. Nowadays, it often looks like a negative thing. It looks like a negative path, but the reality is that it's not always that. As I give an example, as Terminator said, and as I give you an example of my mother, it's not always a negative path. The best thing you can do as a woman is help to build a man up. That's the greatest glory you can have. How do you know? Because no good man wants his woman stressed out over work. No good man wants his woman stressed out over the kids. No good man wants to come home to his woman complaining and in pain or suffering. No good man wants that. A good man wants you at ease. A good man wants you at peace. A good man wants you happy and joyful. But in order for him to want you happy and joyful, you have to be a sustaining sustenance in his life, right? A sustaining nutrition. If you eat junk food all day, you're going to look like junk food. You eat pizza each morning and every evening, you're going to look like you eat pizza every morning and every evening. Your skin's going to look some kind of way. Your gut's going to look some kind of way. Your body's going to look some kind of way. But if you're taking in good nourishment, you're taking in good food, you're taking in good conversation, you're taking in good health, you're taking in good company, you have a good wife, you have a good husband, you have this relationship, that are the nourishments in your life, you're going to see that as well. It's far more important the people you hang around, the people that you love, the partner that you chose for life. That's the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. The one thing you don't want to make is someone who's seducing you to move you, lead you in the wrong ways. You want someone who's leading you in the proper ways, in the way that is going to grow you, that is going to sustain you, that is going to develop you, not someone who's pulling you in opposite direction, who's pulling you down the mountain when you're trying to go up. Does that make sense? Sure. Hey, Nikki. Welcome to the conversation, Nikki. Yes. The answer is, someone asked me. I love this. Oh, thank you so much. Yes. So the question then for me to you, is there a relationship where you've been in? And I'd love to know more. Is there a relationship you've been in where you were the bad guy or the bad guy? Where you seduced someone in the wrong direction? Where you derailed someone from their proper path? Or a situation where the opposite happened? You loved them dearly, you enjoyed them, you seduced them onto the right path. You made him a better man. What did that feeling feel like? What was that energy? Is that your husband? Or was that a boyfriend? I've done this for many relationships in the past or situationships in the past. I love that. You have. I love that, Jasmine. Good for you. The most important thing, the most important aspect in any relationship is trust. Once you seduce the man once in the wrong direction, the trust is gone. Imagine being in a relationship with a man who decides he wants to lie to you. Every 10th thing he says is a lie. How long would you be in that relationship? How much love can you genuinely have when you're with a man who you know you can't trust every now and then, and it's random? It's the same thing when it comes to a seductive woman. I don't know if I can trust her. So therefore, I'm going to withdraw my emotions. The integrity between her and I it's going to be shreds. It's not going to be tight. When I think of integrity, I think of a rope. All the threads within a rope. If it's a tight rope, you have good integrity. If it's a loose rope, waterlogged and stripped apart, you got weak integrity. The integrity between two people needs to stay strong in order to make sure that you're growing, to make sure that you're evolving with not just within yourself, but with each other. That cannot come from a lack of trust. It can only come with trust. And by moving in a way where you're seducing someone to go in the wrong way, the trust is never going to be there. The most important thing you can do is love somebody truthfully, wholly, authentically. And when they're making mistakes, be honest, right? When they're going the wrong direction, be direct, especially when it comes to men. I mean, men, for the most part, we're not always the easiest to speak with, because our egos are in the way. Too many men have our egos in the way. And that's just the reality. So the way to get around that is going to be a bit of seduction, but it has to be the right kind of seduction that's moving him in the right way. Because if you're helping to move him in a way to motivate his strength, his power, the Samson that is him, if you're motivating him to move that power in the right way, in a way that a garbage man can become a college graduate and a multimillionaire, if you're moving him in a way that makes him a better man through your seduction and the positive seduction, he'll never leave you. You become invaluable. You become invaluable. Someone asked, what if he cheats on you? What if he cheats on you? I completely understand that that's a conversation for another day, but the reality of it is this. Men, I don't know any man that's able to be with just one woman. I honestly don't know any. And I've met hundreds of thousands of men. I don't know any. I've seen some on TV. I've heard some guys say so, but the ones that I've even heard say so were the ones that built something with that woman. She seduced him in the right way. The Alex Hormozis in the world that said, no, we're going this way. He told her, I remember the story. I thought it was so impressive that he had an honest, authentic conversation with her. And he told her, sweetie, things are bad. I've lost this money twice. He went broke twice, bankrupt twice. He said, if you want to leave me, I completely understand. And she said, according to him, she verifies it, honey, if I have to live with you under a bridge, then that's where we'll live. I'm never leaving you. And so now they have a kingdom together. She seduced him in the right way. Each and every day when he felt down, when he felt like he wasn't going to do it, he was going the wrong direction, she said, there's no man that I know that is smarter or more capable than you are. You can absolutely do this. And he did. Time after time, loss after loss, win after win. Eventually, he became the man that he is today. Imagine the pride that she has. And knowing that she built that man up from the foundation, the potential that he had, into the man that he is today. That's proper seduction. That's the seduction that every man welcomes. But the question is, can you be that strong? As a woman, can you have that discipline to say, I'm going to continue to lead him in the right way? I'm not going to let negative forces, whether that be supernatural, whether that be my own emotions, ego, pettiness, whatever it is, jealousy, distract him, derail this man. That's the real question. Who are you? Who do you want to be? I'll answer some questions. I'm happy to. Hey, what's up, Tish? Good to see you. She said, you look like where peace resides. Baby, I am where peace resides. Make no mistake about it. I have gone through the gauntlet, the internal gauntlet, the darkness of my shadows to find peace. And in finding peace, I bring that to other people. That's why I do. That's why I'm a counselor. That's why I became a cognitive behavioral therapist. That's why I became a business coach, because I know what it means to walk through that pain, through that confusion, through the distractions, distracted by so many things in my life. So what I did is go into my depths, and in that pain found myself. And in finding myself, brought back those pieces, the pieces of light, to help you become better people, have a better society, more loving interactions, more careful engagements, not just entertainment, not just mindless entertainment. Don't get me wrong. I love to watch SpongeBob like everybody else. I watch old school Star Trek Next Generation just like everybody else. It has nothing to do with today. That's a distraction. It can be sometimes mindless. But I get back to the real world and realize, no, man, we got to grow as a society. What world do I want my daughter to grow up in? What kind of husband will she have? It matters. Growth matters. Health matters. Strength matters. Mental stability matters. Who you are in your life, who you have around you in your life, who you are internally, the character, your integrity, all that matters. The greatest lie ever told is it's not that serious. That's one of those seductive manipulation tactics right there. When someone says it's not that serious, most likely the shit is. Just be honest. It probably is, because most things are that serious. Who your partner is, it is very serious. What food you're eating, it is very serious. Where you're going tonight, what you're doing in the morning, what your habits, what your rituals are, who you give your time, what you give your time, all of it is very serious. Who you're allowing to whisper in your ear in the night to modify your direction, maybe correct your course, or derail you. It all matters. And when you realize this is true, when you realize these things are powerful, when you realize you are responsible for your own peace. You are responsible for your own sovereignty. You are responsible for your own journey. You're only here once. Listen, in 50 years, most of us will be gone. Most of us. In 100 years, all of us. Dust from our bones. So why today concern yourself with hurting others? Why today concern yourself with distracting others into a direction is that what you want your legacy to be, young lady? Is that what you want your legacy to be? To be the woman who was able to derail this man, to distract this partner? Or do you want to be the one who helped build a nation, who helped establish a foundation that supported a kingdom? That's the level of seduction that good women have, that you should make every effort to neutralize. Why not? How beautiful would that be if you built something instead of constantly trying to take something? I'll answer questions. Sure, I'm happy to answer any questions. Yeah. What would you like to know? Where have I been? I've been around. I've been living this world. I'm just not. I've been working on me. I've been working on me. I never want to be the one who comes forward and being unauthentic. I never want to come off as someone who's a know-it-all and didn't know it, or someone who pretended. There's a lot of pretenders these days. And over time, I've realized the truth needs to come to light. Authentic people need to stand up. So what I've also learned is the best way to get other people to stand up and show that and bring truth to light in anything you do is always to go first. Me first. In the military, they have this saying: don't volunteer don't present a solution unless you're presenting a volunteer. The volunteer is always you. So you tell me this thing can be done better, well, go do it. You tell me it should be done this way, well, go do it. So what I decided was, go do it. Go do it. Go help. Go have the real conversations. I know these things aren't always the most exciting, but the reality of it is, are we trying to make a better world or not? Are we trying to make a better world or not? Are we trying to make better relationships? Are we trying to have better conversations? Are we trying to have better engagements and interactions? Are we trying to do that? Or are we all just kind of wasting our time away, fiddling our thumbs? Swipe it. What are we actually doing today? How are you actually helping the world? How are you actually helping people? I decided the only way for evil to win is for good people to do nothing. I decided to do something. This is the something I'm doing to help, to assist, to do as best I can to reach out, to give a helping hand, a helping voice. BuddhaVH1.com, feel free. Yeah, Sarah, you asked, BuddhaVH1.com. Absolutely. Yes, I do. Yes, DigiCappy is my company as well. I take good people, make them good companies into great companies. That's what I do. If you're a good person and you want more from your life, yeah, there's cognitive behavioral therapy. There's some conversations that we have with me. I have programs for that as well. Again, BuddhaVH1.com. There's no pressure. For me, I only want the people who want to have the progress. The people who know that in order to go somewhere different, they gotta be someone different. And you can't be someone different, typically, just by using your old self, your old mind. It's just not going to happen. You don't have the mind for it. If you did, you'd be there already. You wouldn't want something different. You just double down on what you're already doing, right? And let's just be honest. So what you need then is a guide. So what I do is I give guidance. So I want you all to take time. Take time, reflect on yourself. What are you doing in your relationship? What are you doing with your boyfriend or with your husband? What conversations are you having? Are you seducing that man or that woman? Men, are you seducing that woman or whatever, whichever way you swing, seducing your partner in the proper direction or derailing them? Take time to know who you are. Take time to know what it is you're trying to build, the foundation of a kingdom, or just trying to be entertained. See, seduction in the wrong direction is no different than swiping in any direction. All you're doing is trying to pass the time away and feeling like you're productive by just doing anything, but nothing of real purpose, nothing of real foundation. Seduction, when used in the right ways and in the ways that is uplifting and building and growing, is a beautiful thing. I've seduced many women to be better than who they were, lose weight, become more intelligent, get greater jobs, greater positions. Amazing. Cook, even. Man, you're a phenomenal cook. What do you mean you don't like to cook? And genuinely ends up being like a chef. This genuinely happened. I'm a huge fan of seducing people, men and women, relationship-wise, women, counseling-wise, therapy-wise, men and women, to being their best selves, walking toward the best version of who you are. Not me, not your mom, not your dad, you. Do you know who you are? Do you know how to use the best of your powers, the best of your abilities, the best of your seduction, the best of your conversation, the best of your calm, the best of who you are in order to make not just you better, but your partner? You should all be wanting a partner. There's nothing better than having the foundation, knowing that you built the foundation with someone and you used all your powers for good. Listen, you can be Superman or you can be Homelander. Those of you who are comic book fans, you know what I mean. You can be Superman or you can be Homelander. Why not be Superman, Superwoman? I'll answer a few questions and I'll go. Who needs help? Good questions. Good questions. I'm all about the good questions. How long have you been together? How long? 5 years? Excellent. Excellent. Oh, my daughter's fantastic. She's fantastic. She's a gift from God. I do everything I can to make sure she's in the best position possible. And she has a childhood. My God, it's beautiful. I was not raised in the kind of environment she has. She was just in New Zealand last year. It's crazy. I love that for her. It's beautiful. You can't please everyone. That's something I've learned. And people are always going to have their perceptions of you. And the people who have the worst perceptions of you often is because they're miserable themselves. So people are mirrors. When you learn that, when you understand that people only try to reflect, they try to project what they reflect. When they look in the mirror and they see themselves as liars, they see themselves as manipulative, they see themselves as narcissists, they see themselves as seducers, they will naturally see that in you. As negative seducers, they will naturally see that in you because that's their worldview. All you can do is look past them. Let them see whatever they see, and you stay on your path. See, seduction isn't always just sexual. It can be a word, it can be a statement, it can be a phrase, it can be them trying to penetrate exactly who you are so that you move in the direction they want you to move, so that you navigate in a way that is completely unauthentic to who you are or in your worst negative self. Simply move beyond them. Let people believe what they want to believe. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is move in the way that is authentic to you and aligned to God. When you do that, your integrity, the integrity of your heart, the integrity of your spirit, that connection between heart, mind, body, and spirit only gets stronger. impenetrable, unbreakable. And therefore, everyone that you navigate, everyone within your sphere of influence, feels that positivity as well. They feel that integrity as well. They feel that love. They feel that growth. They don't feel as though they want to attack you, because they know when they look in the mirror, they see love. They see growth. They see evolution. They see good integrity. And therefore, they'll see the good integrity in you as well. Those are the people you navigate around. I want people who are seducing me in the right direction, not those who are seducing me in the wrong. I know I'm going to be good for you. I want to make sure you're good for me, right? We should all be good for each other. Otherwise, leave that person alone. That's how I feel. It's worked well for me. Anyhow, sure, I had some more questions. Hi, good to meet you. Hey, Curtis. Necklace is a mermaid's fin. Yes, it is. There's a whole story behind this. This is yeah, there's a story behind this. And this infinity ring, it spins. You can't see it spinning, but yeah. It spins. There's stories behind this. I'll go into some other time. I'm flattered, but yes, I only date women. No, I was speaking to Jasmine. I'm so glad you felt this. I'm so glad you felt this. If I can reach one person, that's all I need. I don't need to reach everybody, just one. Each one reach one. Each one teach one. We grow that way. And that one person who's affected affects another and another and another. That's the way the world works. That's the way you heal. If you're truly trying to heal, if you're truly trying to be a better person than where you've been, than who you've been in the past, then you have an open spirit, a receptive heart and mind. When you feel that receptivity, when you understand that none of us gets it right, none of us gets it perfect. We can get it right. None of us gets it perfect. You listen to someone else who says, oh, here's a perspective that makes sense to me. It's coming from a place of love, of authenticity, of genuine desire to help. Then you incorporate that in your own life and you become a better person for it. Hey, Candy Cane, good to see you. Thank you so much. I love that so many were affected here. I love it. I want you to be in the most positive ways. And again, if you want to have these conversations privately, if you want to go further and do further healing, if you're looking for that man and looking to use your seductive powers in the right ways, feel free to reach out to me. BuddhaVH1.com. Yeah, that's me. Genuinely. I am Christian. Absolutely. I'm so impressed by Jesus. It's amazing. The more I read, the more I'm, God, man, it's a whole nother conversation. It's like looking at a movie when you're a kid, when you're a child and you see like a cartoon or something, and it's just funny. It's just cute. It's like the Bible. It's just funny. It's just cute. There's some good stories in there, okay. But then as you grow up and you engage in life a little further, a little more, you start to deal with the challenges of life. Then you start to realize in rereading that Bible, rereading those same verses, they hit different, right? It's like you see that cartoon, it hits different. My daughter looking at Minions versus me looking at Minions hits kind of different. Still funny, still entertaining, but the lessons, you're like, actually, that's a pretty good life lesson right there. So yeah. Jesus Christ is Lord in my life. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody else who's doing something different, but absolutely, man, he saved my life many a times over. Times when I didn't know a way out. I love you all. I want you all to win. Please take time. Take time in your relationships. Take time in your own spirit, in your own life, to tighten the integrity of who you are, of how you're projecting yourself, the reflection you see in the mirror, so that you're projecting that in the right ways out in the world, and seduce your boyfriend or your girlfriend in the right ways to make them better. When you see how they grow, when you see how they evolve, there's no greater pride in the world. And I promise you, they'll never forget you for the growth. BuddhaVH1.com if you want to talk further. I love you all. Have an amazing night. And we'll speak another time. Sunday, 7 o'clock. Hey, Freak Unleashed. That's the homie right there. Y'all have a good one. Good night.